excavator is being delivered tomorrow. We have it on reserve for 2 days. I think we can get the foundation dug in one, but I've got electrical conduit to put in still. Got about 300 feet to dig. We didn't do before. We brought it up to the top of the driveway, but now we need to bring it from top of the driveway down to the house. And I want to move some stumps and do a little more site clearing. I think we'll need it all of 2 days. So that comes tomorrow. We'll knock out these footers. It's essential we get the footers done and have that set up. I've scheduled for inspection, scheduled for concrete, the pump truck. So if I don't get that done on time and everything bumps and then I lose my schedule for any of it, it all can push out days, if not weeks. What we're going to do today are batter boards to lay out the foundation. Batter boards are boards that will hold a string that we can pull across the foundation. I've already set one up here and here with a string that runs level across what is the top of foundation wall. Using that as a reference, we'll go perpendicular to that and we'll set one up along this wall. So we need a batter board set up here, one here, so we can put a string line here. We'll use that to pull our measurements this direction.
Got it?
I got it. Mostly.
Sarah and I have been working together for 14 years in a design-build relationship. My career started as a teenager working as a carpenter for my father, and Sarah started her design career after graduating from college in interior design.
Now you're caught. Maybe it's time to get a new one of those, huh?
I have another one.
Oh.
We've always enjoyed working together, but the last few years of building our company, Design Build Live, have been the best. Since moving our life and business to West Virginia, we've primarily been doing design work. We've done very little building. Isn't that annoying? Yep. Last fall, we signed up a very special client for our first design build project. It's a client that when they decided to move to the Wild Wonderful, we couldn't say no to making their dream come true. The Cape and Springs Retirement Project is a home we'll be building for my mom, Lorraine, and my stepdad, Gene. As you will see, we will be building much of this project ourselves, but we'll bring in subcontractors when possible and available. During my building career, I've done a little bit of everything. Some things I do very well, some things I'm rusty at, and some things I'm just outdated on and I have some catching up to do. Many aspects remain to be decided on, and we still need to work out many details. We expect to do a lot of custom work that we will design along the way. Pricing of goods is all over the place. The lead time on projects is in constant fluctuation. We're not specifying many of the items we would typically do on projects for these reasons. This will likely extend the project completion time, but we're less concerned with that and more focused on the quality of the build and keeping costs on budget. The excavator I used in the beginning of this project to do the site clearing and the initial leveling of where the foundation is going to be, he had to pull off because we had a delay in getting the permit. By the time I was ready to bring him back, he was booked up until, and I think he said the end of June at best. We couldn't wait that long, so I rented a machine to finish the excavation for the footers and the foundation. I'm not as fast on a machine as I'd like to be, and I had a few problems because it's the first time for me to be digging in shale. And that was a challenge. I'm not used to that. I've dug plenty of foundations, but digging in shale is a completely different ballgame than digging in like clay or other types of soils that I'm used to. And the idea that we would do trench footers didn't work out. So I'm now forming probably 75% of the sides because of the blowouts. Some of that is operator error on the machine. Some of that's just because of the difficulty in digging in shale and keeping a formed trench. I didn't get any footage while using the machine. It was for rent. I had a lot to do. I was honestly just too stressed out. I had a day and a half of digging with the machine, and not until I came back with my tractor to finish things up was I able to really film anything. Took about a week of forming, excavating and forming to get the foundation ready for pour today. Not 100% ready. I've got to finish the boxes. Got to shore up a lot of the walls. I've got to get a lot of water out. But we're going to pour today, this afternoon, and I think we'll be ready. I think everything's okay. But it's just been such trouble not having help or labor. I've got my brother, he's helping me part-time on the project, and it's just been very slow for me to get this formed up and ready without too much delay. The weather was constant trouble. It's typical spring West Virginian weather, which is impossible to plan for, but you gotta kind of keep pushing forward. But it definitely created a lot more work than expected with trying to manage the excavation during all that. Pumping concrete was a huge lifesaver. In my experience in pouring concrete, it's always been a crew of 3, 4, 5 guys, sometimes with wheelbarrows, everyone with shovels, you're jumping all around, you're working a chute trying to get concrete into various places that the chute may or may not reach. The pump does all the work. Me and my brother were able to keep up with the flow. Like I said, the guy pumping the concrete did a great job. It probably took us about an hour and a half to do the footers. It was 18 yards, and you see the shape of the footers. They're all over the place. Altogether, it was 2 trucks, 18 yards, 3 guys, over 1,200 feet of footers, and we got it done in an hour and a half. Well, that went really well. We didn't have any blowouts. We had just enough concrete, and things went really good. The pumper did a great job. He kept everything going just right. A few areas where he was a little high, but all in all, he did a fantastic job working it the way we needed to work it. We had a lot of concrete to pour in these bulkheads that he worked out just right. Our form work wasn't the best. I'm not a concrete guy, but he worked it so we didn't have any blowouts. Not the prettiest footers, but footers don't need to be pretty. And we're done for the day. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. In our next episode, we'll look more at the design and how we did the crawl space, non-conventional. There's a lot of problems that we have with vented crawl spaces. So we've got an unvented crawl space. I'll get into those details and why we're building it that way. To be true to the design build aspect of our company, we'll look at a lot of how we design things, why we design them, and then how we build them, and the implementation of our design. I think that's fun. There's so many new technologies that we're always trying out something new. And on this one, we'll actually get to not just try it out new and have someone else go build it and say good luck. We're going to try a lot of these things ourselves and make sure that these details that we like to put out are quality.